J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter fame. She's got this book coming out for kids called The Ichabog, and 150 or so staff at her publishers at Hachette threatened to walk out because they said they couldn't justify working for a publisher that brought out a book by J.K. Rowling, because J.K. Rowling has expressed perfectly mainstream and decent and reasonable views about where trans rights appears to cross over and tread on women's rights. And, unsurprisingly, most of the people who signed that letter were young. But the problem with it was that on that occasion, the CEO actually stood by J.K. Rowling because she's very, very successful, probably the world's most successful author. And at the moment, at that very, very top level, sometimes, not all the time, the money speaks. But nobody turned around and said the only thing that needed to be said, which was, you're not even at a publishing house that's publishing J.K. Rowling's big book of trans. It's not Chicks with Dicks by J.K. Rowling. It's the Ichabog.
Yes.
And if you cannot work in an office that's publishing the Ichabog, you're probably not just not cut out for this profession, but probably not cut out for this life. You're going to find life really tricky if the Ichabog terrifies you. And what's more, the CEO of a company in that position should by now have said, "Thank you so much for your letter. I take it to be a resignation letter." And in the next day's newspapers, there should have been 150 openings at that publisher for people who wanted to work in the business of ideas and thought. And what is so striking is that even on the ones where people hold the line, they are not saying what needs to be said, which is we cannot be, as societies or as companies or as cultural entities, we cannot be held hostage by fundamentally dishonest, hostile actors. And we certainly can't be held hostage at the risk of just one person, because that's all it requires, just one person saying the Ichabog's too mean for me. That's what we can't operate like that. We can't exchange ideas like that.